You're watching Aviation Nation Airshow, Day 2, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get started.
The PBJ capable of carrying some 3,000 so odd pounds of payload internally. You saw the bomb bay doors open. Intercepting our simulated Zero is that of the F-6F Hellcat, powered again by that Pratt & Whitney R2800 double wasp 18-cylinder radial engine. It was armed to the teeth with 6 50 caliber machine guns, each with 400 rounds of ammunition for a total of 2,400 bullets. The Hellcat is a large aircraft weighing in at over some 12,000 pounds, fully combat loaded, but yet had a top speed of 440 miles an hour. Introduced to fleet operations in the fall of 1943, the Hellcat made an immediate and lasting impact to the air war in the Pacific, racking up a 19-to-1 kill ratio, the highest of any fighter during the war. The Hellcat rapidly earned their reputation as the Zero killer in the Pacific theater of operations of World War II. With our simulated Zero engaging the PBJ, the Hellcat in hot pursuit as well as the PBJ works its way around other targets. This particular PBJ was completed in March of 1940 to the U.S. Navy as Bureau number 35857 and underwent conversion from a B-25 to a PBJ. After serving with the Naval Special Weapons Division on the East Coast, this aircraft was stricken from the Navy's inventory in 1947 and purchased that summer by the St. Louis Flying Service. After going through some 12 different owners, it was restored to flying condition in 1981 and purchased by the Commemorative Air Force in 1985. It is painted today in the colors of VMB 611 Fixed Wing Marine Corps Bombing Squadron 611. Marauding across the South Pacific at low altitude, PBJs and their Army Air Force B-25 brethren obtained the nickname of that of treetop terrors from their Japanese adversaries. Many low-altitude strafing modifications to the aircraft were tested and made in the field and resulted in a lethal combination of forward-firing ordnance in addition to a very effective bomb load. We're going to continue to watch now as the aircraft approach from the right. Another strafing pass towards show center and a great pass in review for your cameras here today. From the SoCal wing of the Commemorative Air Force, from the right, the Warbirds. The North American AT-6 Texan coming by, our simulated Zero. It was the Japanese Zero that gained instant fame and fear early on in the war for its incredible maneuverability and long range. It was next to revolutionary when it was first encountered by Allied fighters, who quickly learned that using traditional dogfighting tactics against the Zero ended in a losing fight for the Allies. The Zero was very lightly constructed, which gave it a great turning performance, but later in the war proved to be a disadvantage. The aircraft today is being flown by John Inglesby, and our F-6F Hellcat being flown by Rob Lips-Hertzberg. In an aerial salute to all of our military members, both past and present, the aircraft are now repositioning for a photo pass from your right. Get your cameras ready as these iconic vintage aircraft approach show center. Again from the right, from the Southern California wing of the Commemorative Air Force, the PBJ and the F-6F Hellcat. No one does it better. Let's put our hands together for the members of the Commemorative Air Force. As our aircraft continue to work their way around, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the pilots to you. The PBJ being flown today by Mike Donut Holes and Rogan Fogel. Donut got his start flying in aviation and joined the U.S. Air Force, where he flew the A-10 Thunderbolt II, racking up an impressive 2,100 hours in the famed tank killer, and participated in combat operations over Bosnia. In addition to the PBJ, he's also checked out in many of the Wings aircraft, including the Hellcat, their Zero, which unfortunately couldn't be with us this weekend due to some maintenance issues, and of course the Spitfire Mark 14. He is leading the flight in again from the left, cameras at the ready. What a magnificent sight that is. Mike Holes is joined today by Roland Fogel. He has a long aviation career and started as a hobby working his way up in the LAPD chain of command, retiring as a distinguished servant of the community. He has also been a pilot for several major airlines and will soon be checking out in the Wings AT-6 Texan. And our Hellcat today being flown by Robert Lips-Hertzberg. Lips, a former F-16 driver in the Air Force, and was bitten by the warbird bug actually while attending this very air show at Nellis Air Force Base many, many years ago. He's checked out in the SoCal's Zero, their F-8F Bearcat, and will soon be flying their Spitfire Mark 14. He works as a defense consultant and lives here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The aircraft are now positioning from our right for their final pass and landing. The SoCal wing of the Commemorative Air Force is honored to be part of this iconic air show here at Nellis. Based out of Camarillo, the Commemorative Air Force SoCal wing is one of just several CAF units across the country. The Commemorative Air Force, or CAF, is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to honor American military aviation through flight, exhibition, and remembrance. More than just a collection of airworthy warplanes from the past, the CAF's fleet of historic aircraft, known as the Ghost Squadron, recreate, remind, and reinforce the lessons learned, the defining moments in military aviation history. To learn more and perhaps join this all-volunteer network of aviation enthusiasts, you can stop by the CAF SoCal aircraft here today at the hot ramp and speak with the team. You can also visit CAF SoCal online and on social media at CAF SoCal. As they work to recover in front of us, please know that we do not fly these airplanes to glorify war, but rather to remember the sacrifices by our veterans and to tell their stories. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our American heroes, our veterans today, who have helped preserve the freedoms that we know of them. As they make their landings, a big round of applause for our Warbird pilots, Mike Holes, Roland Vogel, John Inglesby, and Rob Hertberg, the SoCal wing of the Commemorative Air Force. Always a great sight to see these magnificent warbirds up in the air where they belong. Well, as they recover, it is now time for more air power action as we welcome next to our show from the United States Navy, the Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet. We are very pleased to welcome today the West Coast Rhino demonstration team from Strike Fighter Squadron 122, based at Naval Air Station Lemoore in California. Today, flown by the demonstration pilots and instructors of Strike Fighter Squadron 122, the Flying Eagles, they will demonstrate the full flying capabilities of the FA-18. On behalf of the United States Navy, Naval Air Station Lemoore, and the commander of Strike Fighter Wing Pacific, and the commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 122, we are proud to present the West Coast FA-18 Super Hornet flight demonstration. Intended to replace the retired F-14 Tomcat and the aging Legacy Hornets, the Boeing-built FA-18 Super Hornet is the Navy's frontline tactical aircraft. Known as the Rhino, the Super Hornet builds on a combat-proven design of the original Hornet, with improvements such as a 30% larger surface area, larger payload, longer range, and increased weapons lethality. The aircraft performing for you today is the F model, which incorporates a two-seat cockpit to accomplish all phases of the assigned mission. During today's demonstration, Lieutenant Commander John Miskovac and also that of Lieutenant Robert Dolan, call signs Mac and Mac, will demonstrate the incredible flying characteristics of the Super Hornet. During today's demonstration, they will experience G-forces from -3 to up to 8 times the normal force of gravity, and today's show will be performed at speeds as fast as 700 miles an hour and as slow as 100 miles an hour. Very shortly, you will hear and experience the raw power of 2 General Electric F414 engines, producing 44,000 pounds of combined thrust. The Super Hornet is the Navy's frontline tactical aircraft, and in conjunction with other carrier-borne assets, accomplishes the assigned mission to support the carrier air wing and America's interests. Ladies and gentlemen, on the takeoff roll, please welcome Lieutenant Commander Miskovac and also that of Lieutenant Dolan and your United States Navy's FA-18 Super Hornet. Mac Mac and Mac will now reposition for the dirty roll. Watch as they slow down to less than 200 miles an hour from our left and will deploy the landing gear and flaps. Watch as they approach show center in the landing configuration. As they approach center point, they'll pitch up and roll the aircraft some 360 degrees with the landing gear still extended. Inbound from the left, the Super Hornet and the dirty roll.